Hey guys, this is Danny Boy. We are on Cronos Station. This is going to be a really long episode because it's all of Cronos Station barring Kai Lang. He'll be his own special little episode because he's a special little guy. But anyway, I am forced to use Edie because it's Cronos Station, so I'll be using Edie and Liara so that I can still have my ammo power because I get warp ammo through her, through group warp ammo. I am now spec'd into Slam, and I will be using Slam until the end of the game. I actually really like Slam. I did not realize how low its cooldown actually was. It has just like a 3-second cooldown. And that's not even, I think you can, its max evolution is either the Incapacitate, the Stun, which I took, or I think you can reduce its cooldown even further down to like 2 seconds, but I don't think that's necessary. Maybe if you just have an armor power plus really heavy weapons or something, but I just didn't really think it was needed. And yeah, I really like Slam. I actually used it as a replacement for Throw because, I mean, it's really, or it can be, it has a really low cooldown like Throw. It controls an enemy. You know, in this case, I'm incapacitating them. A Throw just knocks them down, but all intents and purposes, they serve the same function. They both can detonate biotics, can cause biotic explosions. Oh yeah, and I am using the Saber. I'll be using the Saber till the end of the game. I just wanted to use it. I only used it a little bit on my Engineer. I didn't use it at all on my Vanguard. And, you know, I have said it is my favorite assault rifle. I don't know if it is anymore, to be honest. I do like the particle rifle, not that I've used it at all this playthrough, or really much on the Vanguard playthrough, but I do really like it. I'll be using it quite a bit on my Adept and my Soldier playthroughs. Probably not much on the Infiltrator, though. Probably not going to really suit that playstyle. Definitely cool that different weapons can just suit different playstyles on different classes, so even if you might love it on one class, you might not like it so much on another class. That's good. That means that the classes vary enough. They're not just homogenized, you know, they're not just the same, with a different wrapper or some such. But I don't know with the Saber. I like it. It does a ton of damage, but it does feel kind of cheesy at times. It does so much damage. It does so many shots, both in reserve and in the magazine. It reloads slow, but it doesn't reload that slow. It doesn't reload as slow as like bolt action weapons or something like that. At least I don't think so. It's a little hard to tell. The one thing that it doesn't have, of course, is being an assault rifle, you can't get time dilation through a concentration mod. And it is, you know, it's an assault rifle, but it's a sniper rifle. Especially if you throw in a scope, it's a sniper rifle. It does damage on par with sniper rifles, maybe a little less, but it fires quick. It has incredibly good accuracy. Does a ton of damage per shot, benefits greatly from headshots. Mechanically, it's a sniper rifle. I think the assault rifle scopes have a little bit less magnification than the sniper rifle ones, though, but still. But yeah, this will probably be the last that I use it. I used it quite a bit. You know, at the end of this playthrough, I'll be using it in this mission, and I'll be using it throughout Earth, just as my weapon of choice, because I just haven't used it in a long time, and I just wanted to use it. Normally, I don't like to use a weapon for multiple missions in a row. I like to change things up as much as possible. But in this case, wanted to use it. But I do really like the Revenant. I wish it did a bit more damage. I have a feeling if I just upgraded it, it would be so much better, but I just don't do that. You know, that's my policy. I don't bother. Keep things interesting that way, at least a little bit more interesting than they would be. Yeah, I think I'm now remembering, oh yeah, I have Slam. Let me start using that a bit more. Did not expect this guy to be here. No matter. More Slam. I will be using Slam as actually, I mean, I do use the Saber and Earth and stuff as well, but I'll be using Slam quite a bit, almost as a primary weapon, just because I love it. It's really fun. I wish I had used it a lot more on my Sentinel, but I didn't really come to the conclusion that I wanted to use it until the very end of the game. I didn't, you know, have it leveled up enough. Once you put enough points into it and you have enough force, you know, I'm spec'd into improved force through tech armor, I'm spec'd into more force for Slam, and once you have enough, not only will it slam them into the ground, but it also just bounce them into the air afterwards, and using it as well to set off biotic detonations is really, really powerful because its cooldown is so low. Really, really effective power all the way around. Much improved from the previous game. Wasn't really that useful in the previous game. You could only use warp for biotic detonations in the previous game, though. That changed things quite a bit in Mass Effect 3. Boing. But
I suspect they know what we're up to.
yeah, part of me thinks the Saber's a bit too powerful. I mean, it's incredibly effective even at level 1, and even at the very end of the game. I mean, I can't imagine a level 10 Saber. It has to just one-shot everything. I was gonna say, why am I not throwing a grenade? There we go. Especially, you know, if you're using the Saber, you know, yeah, it doesn't have time dilation, but if you're using it on, why did he have to back off? I wanted to squish him. On a soldier with adrenaline rush, then you have time dilation through that, and that would make it even more ridiculous. Generally speaking, when a weapon is really, really, really popular, usually means it's overpowered. Generally speaking. Like with the Falcon, everybody loved the Falcon for the most part. It was flexible, it was dynamic, and it was really, really, really powerful. Though, then again, I really didn't see it being that so strong that it needed to be nerfed before it was nerfed. I feel like that nerf maybe was more so in the multiplayer than the single player. I know it had to do with a certain build on human characters with their passive or something like that. I don't know if it was also nerfed to the single player. I assume it was, because it does seem to be really weak now. But I had so little use of it that I don't really know for sure. I only used it in like one mission on my engineer, and then it was nerfed. So I've been saying that it was nerfed because it was, but maybe it was just nerfed in the multiplayer. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. It is really weak now. So either way, it's really weak. Maybe it was always really weak in the single player, but it's really weak. There's really little damage. It still can be useful depending on your character and your setup and whatever, but to use it as a primary for the Falcon, it's just not really happening. And I won't be using it on this mission. I'm going to find it, but I'm not going to bother. And this is, I talked about this on Sanctuary, I do actually face 2 Atlas mechs here. I've never faced 2 before. It's always just been 1. I have been told by other people that they faced 2 here, and I've never known why. I still don't know why I always faced 1, but this time, I do in fact face 2. They'll be coming right around when the first one dies. So weird. Maybe somebody can explain that to me, because I have no idea. I don't know if it's because I'm a Renegade, because I didn't get war assets because of plot choices. I mean, I skipped through the plot, but of course you still have to make choices, so most of my choices were just Renegade choices. Just spacebar with the bottom choice. Now, I haven't really talked about that, now that I think about it, for the plot. You know, back in the other games, you had 3 choices, generally. It was a positive choice, a negative choice, and then kind of a neutral choice. And they took that out. Yeah, see, here comes the other one. Now it's just you have a positive choice or a negative choice, and by which I mean a Paragon choice or a Renegade choice. Not necessarily positive and negative. I mean, Renegade choices aren't inherently bad. They're just generally more ruthless or badass or whatever. Less forgiving, less merciful. Whereas Paragon choices are more magnanimous and benevolent, but not strictly good versus evil. But yeah, and I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of wish they didn't. I understand why they did, because it was rather pointless having the middle choice. There was never, you know, like a neutral ending that I know of, so it didn't really do much in that respect. And plus, if you're not going to really thoroughly support just being a neutral character, then you're just wasting time recording VO and spending money on VO that doesn't really have a noticeable effect on the actual game. I also have a feeling that a minority of players went for neutral stuff most of the time. I mean, personally, if you watched my Vanguard playthrough, I don't really play as a pure anything. I just generally pick choices that I feel suit the given situation that I just want to do, that I want to just roleplay on the character. You know, I don't go for straight Paragon, straight Renegade. I just pick whatever seems appropriate for the given situation. And I used to pick neutral options just from time to time because they seem to be the most appropriate choice for the given situation that I wanted, you know, to go for. But I feel like I'm probably a minority. It seems like a lot of players just go pure Renegade, pure Paragon, and that's kind of it. And I feel like if that's the case, then that was awesome. I was kind of in awe of that. That was really cool. Anyway, what just happened? And then I shot the last one in the ass. To be shot in the ass to death. What a horrible end. No, run and eat him. Eat him quickly. No. Mistakes were made. Horrible mistakes. I missed out on a melee sync kill. I am ashamed at myself. Doesn't happen often. And finally, a nice gory headshot. I haven't gotten one of those in a while. That's a problem when you're using a Revenant. Here we go. Redemption! When you're using a Revenant and you're just kind of aiming for center mass and just... And then once you switch to a sniper rifle, you have to get back into the groove of actually going for headshots again. Sometimes I just forget. Like, oh yeah, maybe I should, you know, actually aim for the head to an extent. That's the thing with the Saber, though. It does so much damage per shot and it fires so quickly that you don't even really need to. You know, one headshot versus a couple quick or 3 quick body shots or something, especially if you're backing that up with powers. You know, I've been using Slam and what have you. It's a really, really good weapon. Really, really. But yeah, you know, as far as them removing the middle option goes, I don't like it because I used it, but they have the data. They know what players chose. I mean, literally, I mean, they know. They have a lot of information of how players played their game. You know, that was part of why they implemented the Cerberus network, so that they can get all that information. So they could design their next game based around that to help them. It's R&D. And I assume that information told them that, yeah, none enough players use this, so let's just not bother. There will be people that will bitch about it. You know, people tend to bitch rather than talk, you know, say how much they like something. More often than not, if they're going to talk, it's going to be because they dislike something, and that will happen, but at the end of the day, it'll save them time and resources. That's what I assume. Nice. I think I am once again using a piercing mod. I'm not totally sure. I'm definitely using a scope. You know, part of me likes using the piercing mods just because I like how they change the appearance of the weapon. I like how they usually change the color of the glowy on the weapon, or even just the finish, the color of it to an extent, and I like that.
Their intention is to delay us.
And yeah, part of me wants to just use them because of that. Especially sometimes the barrel, the damage mod looks really stupid depending on the weapon. Like on the Falcon, the barrel looks really stupid. But in that case, I think I just bear with it because it does so little damage per shot to begin with. So yes, this room. This has been a very rambling commentary. I hope I don't sound incoherent or something. It's been a train of thought commentary. This room is made so much easier with sabotage. It's a good idea to bring Tally here if you have her. Especially if you don't actually have the skill yourself. Like, I do not have the skill. I brought Liara because I don't care, for one. I mean, it really doesn't matter. It just makes things go faster, and I do like going faster, but I wanted to have my ammo power. I feel naked without an ammo power. And the thing is, though, too, I mean, yes, sabotage makes it go faster. It's more so just to clean up the engineers and stuff, but for actually dealing with the turrets, do you just spec? Yeah, I didn't realize that I got a headshot there. He died instantly. I was trying to explode the backpack. I've had so little luck destroying backpacks. Crotch shot, headshot, worst way to die. Castrate you, then blow your brains out. That is a sad death right there. But yeah, Incinerate on Edie does so much damage when it's leveled up. Even her overload, I mean, just a quick overload, or just me use my overload and then use an Incinerate to finish off the turrets. And yeah, that guy was getting shields from a pylon. I don't realize it, I think, at the time. Her Incinerates will practically one-shot a turret once its shield is down. She's actually a really, really good party member. I don't use her much. I used her at the beginning of this playthrough, but I didn't use her too much throughout. I just kind of stuck with Javik and Liara. I feel like I'll use her more on the Infiltrator, maybe? We shall see. I'm looking forward to that playthrough. I'll be glad when this is done. I'm looking forward to doing it as a live commentary Hopefully you guys will like that. Will definitely make my life a lot easier. I'll be able to put out videos faster because I won't have to do the commentary, you know, afterwards. It takes a lot of time to do these commentaries. Especially when you're doing an entire series in a couple of days. Very exhausting. But we're just about done. We are on Cronos Station. And then we got Earth. Earth wasn't too bad. It was way easier this time around than on my Vanguard. For a number of reasons. For one, I was using the Saber. For two, I was using slam and biotic detonations a lot of the time. Whereas on my Vanguard, I was stuck with the crappy Valkyrie, and a lot of times I couldn't actually use charge because it was just too dangerous. There, finally blew up a backpack. I actually went out of my way to get that shot. Totally unnecessary. He had a sliver of health left, but I want explosions. Yeah, once again, I don't know if I've said, maybe I have, but Kai Leng's going to be his own episode. I believe I did say that actually at the very beginning. I like, just because, I mean, he's a boss, I suppose. And I really wish there were more boss fights in the game, more, you know, unique bosses, scripted boss fights. I feel like there were more of those in Mass Effect 2 than in this one. Just more kind of boss, at least boss-esque sequences. Whereas this, it's just generally speaking, you always, if it's going to be some sort of boss-like encounter, it's going to be a bunch of brutes and marauders, or it's going to be a bunch of banshees and brutes and marauders, or some sort of variation of that. I mean, you really never do face any sort of bosses for Cerberus, barring, obviously, Kai Leng, or the occasional Atlas mech. But you fight Kai Leng so late in the game, and just kind of kill him. I mean, fight him on Thessia, and then very shortly thereafter you fight him on Cronos Station, and then he's gone. I wish you maybe had a third fight with him earlier in the game. And then the second fight was a lot harder, and then the third fight was even harder still. But, I mean, I guess at least there's that. I just wish he wasn't quite such a, you know, pansy. He's really, really easy to deal with. And I died. Kinda sucks. This is an open area. I thought I was far enough back that the guys on the left, there are assault troopers that spawn on the left, couldn't actually kill me. But they still had line of sight on me. You gotta be careful about that. This area is deceptively, like, you don't realize that enemies can shoot you when they can, so you need to be careful. I actually just ran up the stairs to force the Phantom to spawn, and then immediately backed away from behind cover. The thing about only having the Saber as my weapon is I'm not really so great for close quarters combat. But dealt with her quick enough. This is actually exactly how I did the fight on my Engineer. I believe it bugged out for the gameplay that I actually showed you, because I think the first time I did Cronos Station I didn't record on my Engineer. Was really pissed off about that at the time. That really, really sucked. Especially because I was in such a rush to finish the series. That was like the first week of release, the first few days. 5 days or so. Anyway. Why for is my aim so off? I don't know what that was about. You need to die. You need to die. Thank you. Jeez. But anyway, the second time I recorded it on my Engineer, it bugged out, this fight. So I wasn't really able to show that strategy. Whereas on my Vanguard, you know, I ran up here, I charged on all the guys, and so on, like a Vanguard typically would do. But on my Engineer and also on the Sentinel, I just stayed back by that first cover. I kind of just wait for them to come to me. Then I almost die because Phantoms are snipers. Phantoms are more snipers than Nemesis snipers or snipers. Phantoms do not tell you, they don't wave to you and tell you, hey, I'm about to shoot you. Just FYI. They also don't peek out of cover to easily allow themselves to be sniped in return. Yeah, and I don't know. Apparently, Phantoms like to reposition themselves when they're flying. It was kind of weird. I don't know. I guess they can kind of get themselves out of being pulled and thrown and whatever. Or at least lifted with singularity. Anyway. Phantoms just... they fire faster, they don't telegraph what they're about to do, and they do as much damage. To the point that they are far better snipers than actual Nemesis snipers. And I don't know what weapon they use. They seem to use a pistol. I don't know what pistol it is. Maybe they use Carnifexes or something, or Paladins. I don't even know. They do so much damage per shot. I feel like Nemesis snipers could use a buff. They're pretty weak. And stupid most of the time. Nemesis snipers actually, if you don't know, they use Widows. They don't use Raptors. They use Widows. That's why they do so much damage. You'd think they would use Raptors because Raptors are you know, a Cerberus sniper rifle, but no. You know, I kind of wish they did use Raptors. That would make them more interesting. It would be interesting to have a sniper that just peppers you with bullets rather than just tries to one-shot you, because they can't, because one shot will just break your shield. I don't even know, if you are down to red bar, will they one-shot you? I don't think they will, because, I mean, if you're at full red bar at least. I've never been one-shot by a Nemesis sniper. I have never, ever, I think, been killed by a Nemesis sniper, which is unfortunate, because in Mass Effect 1, that was one of the best ways to die, to get sniped. It was one of the easiest ways to die on Insanity. And they will one-shot you. They will liquidate you if you allow it. They were a serious threat. In this game, it's more just like, okay, I know there's a sniper, so I will peek, he will show himself, and then I will basically instantly kill him as soon as he does, using my various different powers or my sniper rifle or whatever I happen to have. I think they could have maybe buffed up Nemesis snipers just a little bit. I don't really know what I would do, barring just they don't obey the I need to break through your shield before I can kill you and just let them one-shot you sort of thing. I don't know if they should do that necessarily. I feel like there's something more creative that they could have done. Like, give them a Raptor and let them just pepper the crap out of you with Raptor shots whenever they're there. Or just make them harder to kill, or I don't know. But they don't do the job. They are terrible snipers. I'm even just waiting right now. I'm just waiting for him to show himself. None of that. Not starting that shenanigans. Maybe give them some sort of defense when you close. Just something. I mean, they're slippery, I guess, but who cares? Done. Alright guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more, and have a good one.